Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, we were not together last week. We had the snowpocalypse and all that happening last week. It was just too much. Couldn't handle doing the live last week through all of the other things that were going on. So I am back with you this week. First week of February. We're moving into the second week of 2026 already. It's exciting. All right. But if you have been trying your best to heal from the pain and the betrayal of infidelity, but you haven't been able to figure out how, I am here to tell you how. I am here to work with you to sit here and figure out exactly what you need to do to start to feel better, to start to let this pain and this stress lift off you a little bit. Okay. That's what I do here. I am a coach specifically for women who want to heal and reconcile after infidelity. And if you have made that decision, January, we were talking about the decision all month. If you've made that decision, you may feel like you're still a little iffy on it. You're not sure if this is totally what you want to do. I am here to back you up, to tell you that you're making a good decision for yourself. If you need help with it, ask me questions. Put questions in the comments and I will answer them for you. We will help you to figure this out, okay? That is what the Healing Hour Live is all about. I want you to hear your questions, and I want to tell you about the things that I tell all my clients to do to start to settle down your body, settle down your brain, start opening your heart back up, and actually work on the relationship after the infidelity, okay? So, if you got questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, if you are seeing on the replay, hashtag replay, put it in the comments. Let me know that you got here a little late, but you got here. All right. All right. Let me make sure I can see everything. All right. I am live in my Love After Cheating Facebook group. If you are not a member of the group, go join the Love After Cheating Facebook group. That is my 6,000 strong member group where you can come and you can talk to other women who have been through the exact same thing you have and are not telling you to leave. That is our main thing. We are not shaming each other. We're not judging each other. If you want to stay, there are women in the group who are staying who will not sit there and be like, no, you can't stay and you need to just leave him and you need to kick him to the curb. They're not saying that because they're staying. Okay, so if you need a group of women to support you in that, the Love After Cheating group is the place for you. I am also live in my Love Coach Dasha page. So if you have not liked my page, go like my page, Love Coach Dasha. And I am also live on YouTube, which is my Love Coach Dasha YouTube page as well. So lots and lots of places you can find me, lots and lots of places you can meet with me and get this pain behind you because you deserve that. You do not deserve to be suffering with this pain forever and ever. And that's what it feels like when it happens, right? It feels like this is going to be my story forever. I am going to hurt. I'm going to be in pain for a very, very long, long time. And I don't like that idea, but there's not much I can do about it. I am here to tell you there's plenty you can do about it. You do not have to continue to be in pain just forever, just staying and being unhappy with that choice. You don't have to do that. And I can show you how to not do that. All right. All right. So I can see everything. I'm live everywhere. Lovely. All right. If you're here with me, put likes in the comments. Let me know. When was D-Day for you? What happened? Why did you decide to stay? Put it in the comments. Let me know. All right. So I'm going to tell you, these are the practices. These are the things that I tell my clients. These are the basics. This is what we start off with. We are trying to deal with a trauma. This trauma of you being betrayed by the person that you love the most, it is a physical thing. This is not all in your head, although your brain is inside this body. It is not just a mental thing. This is a physical thing that has happened to you. So we've got to start to fight it from that perspective, to understand that it's physical and start to do stuff that will help change the physical effects. Okay. The very first thing that I need you to do, that I want you to do so badly, is do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? If you have not, you are doing yourself a disservice. I'm telling you, you need to be doing it. I think this is something that we all need to be taught from childhood, to learn to slow down, to learn to take full deep breaths in, get the oxygen in, and then full breaths out, blowing out. That's the part that really sets people off. If you don't fully blow out and exhale, you are getting excess carbon dioxide built up in your lungs. And that signals to your brain that something is wrong with you. Your breathing is off. You have all this excess carbon dioxide. Something must be wrong, even when nothing is wrong. So just the habit of purse those lips, blow a stream of air out until you can't blow anymore. That in and of itself will start to calm you down. If you are having a moment, you can't quite get a grip on yourself, just do that simple thing first. And then you can fall into your deep breathing. But blow out, get that excess carbon dioxide out of your lungs so your brain doesn't think that you're dying, doesn't think that something terrible is happening to you. Okay. So first things first, we're going to blow out. Then we are going to inhale for a count of 4. We're going to hold that breath for a count of 7. And then we're going to blow out like we're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. Okay. When we do this, we are giving our bodies a chance to use some of that oxygen that we breathed in because we are holding the breath. And then we're fully exhaling, getting that excess carbon dioxide out. All right. It is a slow, steady breath that teaches your brain that I am not being chased. I am not in trouble. Things might be scary, but I'm not actually in any danger. If you can convince your brain of that and consistently convince your brain of that, your brain will calm down. You will not feel like you're under attack all the time. You can start to calm down, start to get less emotional about the entire betrayal. Okay? So, first things first, blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Tell me in the comments, how do you feel when you're doing your deep breathing? Hi there, Richard Smith. Hi there. Greetings from Northeast Ohio. Greetings to you from Richmond, Virginia. Hello, hello. Glad you are here. If you have been through infidelity, you cheated on your girl, tell your girl to come on over here and talk to me, and we can get her back on the side of the relationship, of working through things, of being more calm, being more centered about what has happened, and being able to find that happiness again in the relationship. That's what I'm all about. All right. All right, y'all. Let's see. Next thing that we always do every single time we talk is we talk about the second of the practices, and that is to do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? I need you to jump on that. I need you to get serious about sitting down with your journal twice a day. Okay? One time in the morning when you first wake up, whatever bubbles to the top of your brain first thing when your eyes open in the morning, before you pick up your phone, before you do anything else, jot down a couple of notes about what comes to mind first thing. Journal a little bit, get to know where your brain is when you first wake up. The things that are bothering you, the things that you're thinking about, all right? Put those things in your journal, okay? Then, right before you go to bed, if you are feeling like there's pressure, you can't sleep very well, let that pressure out by using your journal at night before you go to bed. Drink a cup of chamomile tea, journal for about 5 minutes. That's all you really need to do, too. You don't need to have an entire session of writing. It doesn't need to be an hour. It doesn't need to be all that. About 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, that is going to help to keep you on track with your thoughts. And it will start to reveal patterns of your thoughts, of your feelings, how you feel in the morning versus how you're feeling at night. You will learn things about this trauma that you are going through that you might not have noticed otherwise. And if you can notice the thing, you can do something about the thing. If you don't know it happened, then you can't do anything about it. So we have to know this information by journaling regularly. Now, when you're doing your journaling, you can do journaling any other time during the day, but try and keep it to 5 minutes. Okay, if there's something that pops up in the moment, 5 minutes. What happened in the hours leading up to it? How you're feeling now? What you wanted to do? Like what the trigger told you to do, and then what you actually did, what you did that you made a choice about doing. If you can journal like that, you will find all sorts of patterns in your writing that will tell you exactly what is going on inside your head, so you can be on top of it instead of behind it. Okay, do your date, your time, and your level of anxiety every time you journal. In the beginning, do your level of anxiety, and then at the end, do your level of anxiety, because you will see that it will fall. If you start off with a 5 and you write for about 5 minutes, you're a 4 or a 3. You will feel better, and you will know that the journaling is working. Okay. Date and time are to let you know when things happen. If you are consistently writing notes before bed, it's 9 p.m., 9:18 p.m. on Thursdays, all of a sudden you feel the need to write in your journal. That is a specific time that is being triggered for some reason that has something to do with this trauma. If you can figure out what that is, you can stop being triggered. Okay. We just need to know what the pattern is in order to do something about those triggers. Okay. Your level of anxiety is going to be 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. Everything is great. All is right with the world. Put that down. You want to write that down. You want your brain to have evidence that there are good days, that it's not all misery and sadness in this world now because you have been cheated on. You will have that to fall back on the days when your brain says everything is terrible and you never have any good days. You can flip back in your journal, put it in like the top corner of your journal so you can flip through the pages and be like, oh, well, no, that's not true at all. Look at that. 0, 0, 0. I've had 0 days. I've had days where everything was just fine. So you will know for sure your brain is lying to you about your trauma because you have written it down. You have it written down in a book where you can go back and look at it. You're not just relying on your memory. Because let me tell you something, your memory sucks on trauma. All right. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Stop believing that you remember everything right now. If you are fully traumatized, your short-term memory is all you got. You're not forming long-term memories. That's not happening. You are in the moment, you're in the trauma, you are experiencing things minute to minute. You're not forming real good memories. So you think that your memory is great because everything is so crystal clear and sharp and painful, but it's only because it's in this present moment. Your brain is not holding on to them. Okay. So we need to have records. We need to have proof of how we were feeling so that our brains can't lie to us and tell us that everything is terrible all the time. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anything else about the journaling? Once in the morning, once at night, 5 minutes. You don't need to write a whole book. Just write something. Okay. Third thing, that's one of the practices, things that I'm always going to remind you to do. I need you to develop an attitude of gratitude. I need you to really focus your energy on being grateful for things in your day-to-day life. I know that's hard right now. I know when the trauma has set in, it tries to block you from everything that's good in the entire world, right? It will make you feel like, oh, I just never had anything good, and there is nothing for me to be appreciative of in this entire world. And that's a lie. You know that's not true, right? Logically, you know that that's not a true statement, but your brain will try and make you believe it when you're traumatized to keep you small, to keep you sheltered, to keep you isolated. That is what it's trying to do. That's what its purpose is, because then you'll be safe. If you're isolated, other people can't hurt you. All right. So we can't always listen to what our brain is telling us when we're traumatized, because a lot of the time it's lying. Okay. So instead of listening to that all the time, wake up first thing in the morning when you do your journaling. You're going to write for 5 minutes anyway. Okay, write 5 minutes, the things that pop to your brain, and then write down 5 things that you're grateful for. Matter of fact, I'll even switch those two around. Go ahead and do the things you're grateful for first. 5 things that you are grateful for in your life that morning. Put those down before you write anything else, and see how those thoughts change inside your head when you redirect them with gratitude. Gratitude is the opposite of grief. Grieving is about what you have lost. Gratitude is about what you have. So if you are grieving this whole loss, it is good for you to remember what you do still have, so that you don't keep focusing on that empty space. You look for something that is full in your life. Does that make sense? I want you to be looking for the places that are full, not the places that are empty. The more you focus on the empty places, the more empty you feel. Okay? So focus on the good things. That's why I always invite you. Do Thirsty Thursday with me. Put in the comments things that you are grateful for today. Put it in the comments so I can shout you out and I can tell people how grateful you are for this wonderful thing that's in your life. And when you share those things, especially with other people who are hurting, when you share those things multiply. They help other people to see the things that they're grateful for in their lives as well. So if you do that instead of sharing the pain all the time, it is going to be good for you, and it'll be good for the people that you talk to too. You've been in the groups before where nobody can say anything positive, where everybody is miserable and sad and excruciating pain, and that's all that they can talk about. Then that triggers off your pain, and you think about, well, yeah, I feel like that too. I get commiserating. I understand that. But the more you focus on that, the more those fearful thoughts in your head seem real. They seem like they're accurate. They seem like that this is your life now. And you don't want to listen to that, because you don't want that to be your life now. You don't want this misery to be your life. I know you don't. I know you don't want sadness and betrayal and not being able to trust to be your entire life. That sucks. Nobody wants that. So we've got to be careful about what we input and what we're telling other people as well. The fear speech is very easily contaminating everybody. You can speak it, and then other people will pick up on it and just absorb it, because their brain is saying the same fearful thing. It is saying the exact same thing that your brain was saying. And so it latches on to that and says, see, she's experiencing this too, so it must be true. And then you start to focus on those things that actually aren't true and are very, very painful for you, instead of the healing path that you could be on. All right. And speaking of the healing path, if you want to know what the healing path is, put path in the comments, PATH, and you will get a link to get my healing path, the dreams formula, the 6 steps that I took and I share with all my clients to take to be able to heal and reconcile after infidelity. Put PATH in the comments, and I will send that out to you absolutely free. It will give you step by step what you need to do. If you don't know, if you're staying and you have had no idea how to stay, this is the path laid out for you. I want you to have it. So PATH in the comments, and you will get the exact plan to be able to heal and reconcile after infidelity from me. Okay. All right. Last thing of the practices we're going to talk about right now is to stop asking all those questions. Oh, I know. I know. That's a hard one. That's the one people really disagree with me on. If somebody's going to argue with me, they're going to argue with me about that one because they feel like, well, I've earned the right to ask all the questions that I want. I'm not saying that that's not true. I am saying you have earned the right to ask whatever questions you like. If you wanted to continue to ask questions, you absolutely could. However, that is not the healing path. If it was the path, I'd say do it. Go ahead, ask all the questions in the whole wide world. But that's not what that's designed to do. Your brain tells you, I need the answers to these questions in order to heal. I need to be able to ask these questions and have these answers because then I will be able to have all the information and then I can heal. That's a lie. I know your brain will lie to you on trauma. When you are traumatized, your brain will lie right to you, right to your face about what it's doing. When it's asking all those questions, it is doing that from a place of threat assessment. It is saying this person that I was loving hurt me, and I believe that they are a threat. So I've got to find out all the information I can find out in order to make sure that I'm safe from the threat. If you treat the person you love like a threat, they will not be the person you love anymore. They will be a threat. That is what you will think of them in your head. The longer you do this, the longer you let yourself keep questioning them and interrogating them and asking questions that you don't even want the answers to. Things that hurt you. You find out the answer to these questions and it hurts you, it gives you something else to heal from. As long as you keep doing that, you are reinforcing inside your own brain that it makes you safer to hold this person at arm's length, to not reconcile with them, to consider them a threat, and keep asking them all the questions that you can think of about their betrayal, because that will somehow magically prevent it from ever happening again. That doesn't even happen. I have talked to plenty of women, and they had the cheating happen at one point and they asked all of the questions and then the cheating happens again. So asking all the questions does not save you, okay? It does not change anything except for it makes you way more paranoid. It makes you really, really anxious. And then you're constantly comparing and contrasting the answers that you got in order to find the thing that says, see, I told you, you can't trust them. All right. That is all your brain is doing when it's asking all those questions. It's not trying to help you heal. That is not what it's trying to do. It is trying to protect you, which is a different thing. Protecting you would mean, let me get away from this threat. Let me put up walls between me and this threat. That is not healing and reconciling and coming back to the love with the person that you love. That is not the same thing. It feels like it's safe in the moment because it's the way that our threat system is designed, but it's not safe for your relationship. It's only safe if you want to be alone, if you want to be isolated, if you do not want to reconnect. And I don't think you would be here if that's what you wanted. I think you want to reconnect. I think you want to love the person that you love and be open to them and be able to get past this pain and not have to live in it forever. I know that's what you want. Don't you want to give up this pain? We can't keep doing the things that the pain insists on if we're going to get rid of the pain. Okay? All right. So, if you can help it, don't ask any questions. But I will give you an option if you just can't help yourself, because it is like an itch in your brain. Your brain wants to ask questions because that is part of the threat assessment that it's making. So if you switch it around and you control what questions you ask, you can get a little bit more of a connection instead of an interrogation. So try these out. The and THEAND. Find them on Amazon. You just put in the and their store pops up. They have several different versions of this game. This is the Healing Edition. It is 199 questions. Okay. If you want to ask a question, there is a better question than the question that you want to ask in that box. Okay. And I will prove it to you. Hey, Danya. Hey there. Hi. I see you over there on YouTube. Hey, girl. All right. Can you donate? I Absolutely. I don't know how, but absolutely. You know what? I don't think anybody's ever asked me that, but absolutely, I take all donations. All right. So, question one. This is a better question than the question that you're thinking about asking. Okay. This one says, what do you think has the greatest influence on our relationship? Isn't that a good question? Wouldn't you rather know about what actually influences your relationship than, oh, what positions did you have sex with her in? Did you tell her that you loved her? Wouldn't this be a more productive question to ask than those questions? I think it would. Next one is going to be, what do you think is the hardest thing for me that I don't realize? Oh, not the things that you talk about, not the things that you complain about, the things that you don't even realize. Because a lot of the time, see, that's one of those things that happens when you're in a relationship with somebody. They can pick up on things like that you don't even notice. The person that you love will be able to rattle off something and be like, oh, yeah, this is a real struggle for you. But, you don't seem to really even pay attention to the fact that it's a struggle for you. Okay, they will be able to tell you something that you didn't even know about yourself because they observe you. They are not in your brain. They are just here looking at you, seeing what's going on with you, and they can tell you something that you've never even heard about yourself before. Okay, much better question to ask. Much better, much more constructive. Okay, and one more. What is one thing you never want me to forget about you? Isn't that a nice question? Wouldn't you like to know what he feels is important for you to remember about him? I think that's a good question. That's a sweet one. What is one thing you never want me to forget about you? Beautiful. Wouldn't you rather have that answer than answers to the questions that are in your head right now? The things that you think that you want to know about the affair, about the infidelity, about his thoughts, about his feelings about it. You don't need that right now. All of that information is going to overload you. You are already dealing with all your own thoughts and feelings right now. Getting all that information from him is just going to overload you. It is not going to help you heal. Okay? All right. So, let me check and see any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything you want me to touch upon today. Let me know in the comments and hashtag replay. If you have been catching me on the replay, you didn't get here to be with me at 9 o'clock, but you came back later on and you watched it. All right, let me know. All right, nothing that I can see. Fabulous. All right, so we didn't get to talk last week, so I'm glad we can be back and we can chat about some things today. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why it feels like it's harder after you decided to stay. Because last month was all about staying. Last month was all about the deciding to stay, deciding to heal and reconcile. And it feels like that should make you feel better, right? It seems like in your head, okay, once I've made that decision, that should make me feel a lot better. I should feel some relief. I should feel some ease when that is happening. If you thought that you would be calmer by now, that you'd be feeling better by now, you are not broken, not at all. That is a completely normal thing to happen, okay? It is a completely normal thing to feel like, okay, I've made this huge decision. I should feel much better now. I should feel some sort of weight lifting, but you still have to actually heal. Deciding to stay doesn't end the pain. That's just the beginning of the healing. That's the start of the process. As you were dealing with just knowing that this happened, you weren't actually healing. When you made that decision, you were like, okay, I am going to stay. And you made that mental choice. Okay, that's one thing. But your nervous system has to come along for that ride. In order for you to heal, your nervous system has to get into alignment with that mental decision that you made. Your body is not responding to your logic. Your body is not saying, oh, well, we made up our mind, we're staying, so everything is okay. Your body is like, no, I still want to feel safe. I want to know for sure that I am safe making this decision. And that's hard to know because you won't know that until you've made the decision and you've gone through with it and you can see, okay, yes, he did the right things. I made the right decision. But in that moment, you can't know. Your brain understands the decision. Your body needs proof. Your body wants to be assured that we are making the right decision here. So why it can feel worse. First thing is the hypervigilance turns on. Your brain starts scanning constantly. Now, it was doing that already when you were in between before you made the decision to stay. But now that you made the decision to stay, you are staying close to what your brain considers a threat. So your brain starts scanning extra for every little thing that they do, every little thing that they say to make sure that this is a safe environment. So your thoughts start to get louder. They don't get quieter when you've made this decision. They start to scream at you. And that's not failure in your part at all. That is just your body trying to protect you. We have got to let your body know that you are actually safe in the decision that you're making. Your anxiety when that happens isn't the betrayal trauma coming back. It's your protector clocking in for work. All right. And saying, okay, well, we're in a position where we could be hurt again. We got to watch out for patterns. We got to just be on constant alert that something could happen. Another thing that happens is your expectations start to go up. And I tell people all the time, you got to ease up on the expectations, okay? Expectations are killers in relationships. But when you've made this decision, now you're invested. Now those expectations start to really surface. And so any inconsistency, anything, and like them just acting normal, and you're like, how can you act normal? Because this is not a normal situation. Even something like that will hurt you, will make you feel like, oh, I've made the wrong decision. This is a terrible thing for me to be doing. I should not put myself in this type of danger. All right. And you feel like you need to be reassured urgently. Like when in the moment you're like, I have to keep on being reassured that I have made the right decision, that this person is going to honor the fact that I have decided to stay and decided to forgive them. And every time I need reassurance, they're going to have to come urgently to fix that, to give me that reassurance, which gets to be a lot because, and not everybody's at their best all the time. So he may not reassure you the way you want to. And then you start doubting your decision and he starts doubting that you're ever going to forgive him, and everybody gets doubtful and everybody gets stressed out. All right. So we've got to understand that when we commit to this relationship, when we commit to working this out and loving this person and opening ourselves back up, this becomes personal. This becomes like we have got to really pay attention because something bad could happen to us. And then there is the identity shock of it all. Why don't I feel stronger yet? Can I even trust myself on this? I thought that this was going to be a deal breaker, and come to find out, this person really has touched me kind of deeply, and I don't want it to be a deal breaker. And I'm actually staying with somebody when I've always said that I would never stay in a situation where I was cheated on. Your brain will try and take that inconsistency of believing that it was a deal breaker in the first place. And then you actually staying as, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You're too stupid to make this decision. You're not trustworthy. There is no way that you can make this decision because look, you believe this at first and now you're doing something completely different. No. But the thing is, you don't know that until you're in the situation. Your identity reveals itself a lot in adversity. Who you actually are. Hey there, I see you on YouTube. Hey. Who you are gets revealed through a lot of difficulty, through stress, through being tested. So you may have thought that it was just a deal breaker and you would just never, ever, ever forgive. And you came to find out that actually I love this person enough to try and forgive them. Just because you found that out, that doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. That's not a bad thing. You did feel a certain way. You honored that until you felt a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't change who you are. It just means that in the given situation, you found out that you would react differently than you thought you would. And we can't know how we're going to react to something until it actually happens. You can plan it ahead of time. You can say, oh, I would never stay with a cheater. And then you find out that your loved one really, really bad and you're willing to work it out. Okay. So you're grieving and you're recalibrating is what you're doing. You are, and it's uncomfortable to recalibrate like that, to understand that what you really thought about yourself is not true. The same way what you thought about him isn't true. You thought he could never hurt me this way. There's no way in the world that he would ever cheat on me. You thought that. And that is a real high bar for anybody, okay? Just believing that somebody would never ever do something to hurt you. That's a high bar. You believed a lot, all right? So you have to recalibrate and understand that actually this person was a human being and he will mess up. And that doesn't mean that we don't love each other. That doesn't mean that we're not supposed to be together. You got to recalibrate and understand that now that this has happened. So lots of reasons why it feels worse when you made the decision to stay. It feels like a betrayal of yourself again. And you are deciding on something that you didn't think that you ever decide on before. But if you've gotten to this point, if you feel like you really want to be with this person anyway, that is unconditional love. You have unlocked unconditional love. You have stumbled upon that. And if you have that, cherish that. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't be upset that that is who you actually are, is somebody that can love unconditionally. We need more people like that. We need plenty more people like you who can learn to forgive and love. We need to be teaching other people how to do that. All right. So you go ahead and practice, work on it, and then you'll be able to share that with other people because we need to share that with the class. Okay. Forgiving and loving and understanding and compassion. Girl, we need that. Okay. That we need that out in the world. So that is not a bad thing. That's not saying that you're a bad person. It's not saying that you make bad decisions. It's not saying anything about you. It's just saying that you understand that you feel love and you want to follow and honor love. Go for it. That's a good thing. Okay. So what doesn't help? What doesn't help you to feel comfortable after you've made this huge decision and you're freaking out about it? Forcing yourself to forgive. Okay. That's not going to help you. You can do the actions of forgiving and not feel forgiving. But the more you do the actions, the closer you will feel to forgiving. So don't worry about feeling forgiving right off the bat. Just do things that a forgiving person would do and see if you can close that gap a little bit. Monitoring your partner instead of regulating yourself, that's not going to help you. Okay, stop worrying about his part. Let him handle his part. That is not your business. Your business is to regulate this body. You have been through a trauma. Go to ChatGPT, ask for some somatic, SOMATIC, somatic exercises that you can do to start to regulate your body and calm your body down. Look, chat, I have been hurt and betrayed in my relationship. These are the symptoms that I feel. My heart keeps racing and my head spins and I keep having these thoughts that repeat over and over again. Can you give me some somatic exercises that will help me to start to overcome this traumatic effect? Do that, okay? I swear it is helpful when you regulate yourself instead of worrying about what they're doing. You are working actively on your own healing instead of trying to be in control of anybody else. That is not going to help you. If you can control yourself, that is the thing that is going to help you. Trying to control what he's doing, monitoring him, checking to see what he's doing day to day. How is he behaving? Is he changing? It's just going to drive you crazy. You're not going to see those changes because you're still dysregulated. And like we talked about, your body, when you're dysregulated, thinks everything is bad. So you're not going to even be able to see him doing the good things, doing the healing things, because you're not in a place to do it. Okay. You should not wait for your partner to make you feel safe. All right. Your safety comes from within you. That is it. That is all the safety that you're going to get in this world, is what you provide for yourself. He cannot hand you safety. He cannot say, here's a platter of safety, eat up. And then you go ahead and ingest it and it affects your body. That's not the way this works. Okay. You have to do the work of that healing, of making yourself feel safe, trusting yourself, believing in the things that you want, and the love that you have, believing that you're right to be able to make this decision and work this out. That is what is going to make you feel safe. He can't hand you that at all. I promise you, it will not work. Okay. Replaying conversations over and over again, trying to get certainty. Okay, first of all, when you are listening to something, there is always, okay, when you're listening to the story of the infidelity, okay, there is his side and there is her side, and then there is the truth. Okay. That is always the way it is. When people talk to me, especially, I don't do a lot of couples counseling anymore, but when I do talk to couples, they try and convince me of that their side is the whole truth. And I'm like, I never believe that. Okay. I do not believe you, because we are in a traumatized state. So our memories are affected. So I don't believe that you have the entire story. You have what you experienced. Yes, because your brain is its own little universe, and what you experience is different. Even if you're interacting with one another, what you experience is different from what the other person experienced. And those two experiences are different from subjective truth. Okay. Don't worry about having a whole bunch of conversations and trying to figure out what happened, what he was thinking, what he was doing, where his brain was, none of that is going to help you. None of it will help you. I promise. Stop replaying those conversations over and over again. You will not get certainty because you are relying on another person's memory, and memories suck. Okay. That's why it's not real great to have like eyewitness testimony, because your eyewitness can be seeing something completely different than what the eyewitness next to them saw. Okay. So we don't need to keep on replaying these conversations, trying to get all that clarity. You're not going to get clarity from asking these questions. You are going to get the version of the answer that the brain can come up with in that moment. And it might be different from the last time you asked it. Okay. Healing doesn't come from more information. It comes from regulation. It comes from you regulating this body, teaching this body that you are safe now, and that you don't have to keep on asking question after question after question. You will not get that healing from information. It's going to come from regulation. Okay. So what does help you? Regulation before trying to resolve anything. Because if you are trying to resolve something, but you are in that heightened state, your pulse is racing, you're in fight or flight, that's what your body wants to do. It doesn't want to understand. It doesn't want to come together and resolve anything. It wants to fight or it wants to flee. And then we got fawning and freezing too, but none of that is helpful with actually repairing a relationship, coming up with any resolution. You have to be able to control yourself before you're able to move to the part where you get resolution for the entire thing. Okay. Your healing comes first. Before anything else can happen, you have to start to heal. You have to start to piece your way down that healing path without dragging that fight or flight instinct with you everywhere you go. Okay. Naming the triggers instead of acting upon them. That is a good way to go about this. Say what it is that you're feeling, but do not do what the trigger tells you to do. I promise you, everything that the triggers tell you to do is the wrong thing to do. Not for the relationship. That's not going to be good for the relationship. It's the perfect thing if you just want to be alone and isolated and you don't want to reconnect. That's fine. But you need to be aware that the thing that your trigger is saying that you should do is the last thing you should do if you actually want to connect and have a relationship. So whatever it's screaming at you, try and name what the actual feeling is before we react at all. Try and name what that feeling is. Write in your journal, okay, I am feeling angry. Or is it angry? There's grief. Or is it grief? Is it sadness? Write down what it actually is so you can start to recognize those feelings inside your body. And then for each emotion, there can be a thing that you do that helps with that particular emotion. I'm mad, so I go throw something, or I beat up a pillow, or I push the wall. That is a good somatic exercise for being angry. Or this is grief. So grief is shake it off. I'm jumping up and down. I'm shaking my body. I'm moving my legs. I'm moving my head, shaking that grief out of my body. You can do different things for different emotions if you go ahead and name the emotion first. If you don't know what emotion you're dealing with, you don't know what to do about it. Okay. Containing things instead of constantly processing. I know that people tell you that you should process this the way that you need to. You should talk about it as much as you want. You should keep revisiting it. You should ask all the questions. I am saying that you need to contain it to a certain amount of time. If you can start off, all right, I'm going to mention it every day, but I'm only going to talk about it for 5 minutes every day. All right. And you let him know that, look, 5 minutes, limit me to 5 minutes. And I'm going to talk about everything that I'm feeling for about 5 minutes. And then you can respond for about 5 minutes. And then it's over for today. We can come back again tomorrow. But containing it starts to put a container around it in your brain so that it's not constantly spilling over into everything that you do. It's not constantly on your mind the entire time you're at work. You can think of things, but you can write them down in your journal and be like, this will be part of my 5 minutes. This is something that I want to talk about. This is something that I want an answer to. 5 minutes. And then you stretch that, okay? Not every day, every other day. And then you stretch that every 2 days so that you are containing it instead of letting it have free reign in your life. When you keep on revisiting a trauma, you keep re-traumatizing yourself. So if you will contain the trauma to a certain amount of time a day, your brain understands, okay, wait a minute, it's been 5 minutes. We got to talk about this tomorrow. We can't keep on focusing on this right now. We got other things that we're supposed to do. It trains your brain how to deal with it. I know you want to talk about it all the time. I know that it is the only thing on your mind, and it is very, very prevalent, and those thoughts are screaming, but it will stop the thoughts from screaming if you contain it. You tell your brain, this is a limited amount of time where we're allowed to talk about this. All right. And then just learning safety inside your own body, understanding that you are safe inside you. Healing isn't about being calm, it's about knowing what to do when you're not calm. I like that. That's a good one. Healing isn't about being calm, it's about knowing what to do when you're not calm. So when you are feeling a particular thing, you need to know, okay, this is what I'm feeling, and what do I do about this feeling? Okay. So all that being said, I have a few spots coming up for the next few weeks for Enchanted Reconciliation calls with me. 45 minutes. You can get on the phone with me for absolutely free. And we are going to talk face to face. We're going to talk about the problems that you're having, the roadblocks that have arisen since you have decided to stay and work things out and heal and reconcile after infidelity. And we are going to approach those things, understand those triggers, give you a plan to work when you are triggered for certain feelings that you're having. If there's a big feeling right now and it's messing with you, we can stop that spiral together. 45 minutes. Okay. And then you can decide if you want to work with me. If I made you feel wonderful and you get off the phone and you're smiling, you're like, you know what? I feel really better. I need to work with her. Then we can go ahead and work together. You can get with me on my tech support. But I want you to have this free call. While I have a little bit of time, I'm having a little bit of time coming up. It's a very short amount of time that I have, and I will not be able to do any more enchanted reconciliation calls at least until like the end of the summer. All right. So I want you to get in on that now so that you have somebody to help you stop the spiral. When you get off the phone with me, you will have a plan. You will have step by step by step what you need to do right now in the situation that you're in. And then if you want to work with me beyond that, if it is wonderful and it works beautifully for you and you are like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you showed me this way, then you can decide if you want to work with me, if you want me to be your coach full time. Okay. So I want you to put call in the comments, CALL in the comments, if you would like to get the link for the Enchanted Reconciliation call with me. 45 minutes, absolutely free, no obligations or anything. I just want to help you. I want to talk to you. I want to know what's going on in the situation. I want to give you the path forward. Okay. And another absolutely free thing is my healing guide, the dreams formula, how to heal and reconcile after infidelity. If you just like that, if you're a little shy, you don't want to talk to me just yet, go on ahead and put PATH, PATH, in the comments and get you a copy of the healing path to go forward. But I do want to get on a call with you. I enjoy doing the enchanted reconciliation calls. Everybody that I talk to at the end of the conversation feels better, feels like I have a plan. They feel like some of that weight has been lifted. They feel like somebody understands. They feel like I know what the next couple of steps forward are going to be, when they were kind of lost in the woods and didn't know what the next step should be. So I want you to get on a call with me, CALL, in the comments if you would like a absolutely free 45-minute enchanted reconciliation call with Love Coach Dasha. All right. All righty. I don't think you've made the wrong decisions. I think you've made good decisions. I think that you are choosing love in a particularly difficult situation. And that doesn't mean that you're bad in any way, shape, or form. That means that you're a very strong individual who wants to have love and caring and understanding and forgiveness in your life. And there is no reason for you not to have that. Okay. All righty. So, last thing, this is the last of the practices. And put practices in the comments if you want a copy of the practices. The last of the practices that I talk to you about every week is doing your affirmations. Have you been doing your affirmations? I bet you haven't. I bet you haven't been looking yourself in the eye and telling yourself how wonderful and beautiful and sweet and loving and loyal you actually are. I bet you haven't been doing that, and I want you to get on that, okay? I want you to really, really focus your attention on giving yourself some praise. You are a beautiful soul. You are a lovely person who wants love in your life. You should say good things about a person like that, all right? That makes you a good person. You're a sweet girl, okay? Don't feel bad that this is what you want. You can go after what you want. Aren't we told that we're supposed to go after what we want? You are doing exactly that, and you are doing it in favor of love. And I think that is a beautiful thing. So you deserve to tell yourself good things about yourself. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to look yourself in the eye. And if you need affirmations, I got everything for you. Affirmation in the comment. Put affirmation in the comment. I will send you the link to my personal set of affirmations that you can get sent to your inbox every single day for 60 days to tell you exactly what good affirmations you should use to heal and reconcile after infidelity. All right. But You don't have to get mine. You can get one of these decks. This is a deck that came from Five Below. I've been using for a few years now. You can get them off of ChatGPT. You can get them from Amazon. You can get affirmations from just about anywhere, okay? Just do them. What you want to do is look yourself in the eye, look yourself in the camera, and say the affirmation like you mean it. Say it like it's the most true thing you've ever said. Say it like you're saying it to your best friend and you really want them to believe you because they are such a wonderful person and they're doubting themselves, okay? You are your best friend. You're the bestie and the friend, all right? So we're going to do today's affirmation as today I feel healthy. Today my mind is clear, my body is healthy, and my soul is at peace. Ooh, I like that one. That's a good one. Today I feel healthy. Today my mind is clear, my body is healthy, and my soul is at peace. The more you say things about yourself, the more likely they are to come true. If you keep saying, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm going to be by myself, you're going to believe that, and that's what's going to happen. You are going to do stupid things, and then you're going to end up by yourself because you are telling your brain the message that you want it to believe about you. Even if you don't feel like you're healthy, even if you don't feel like your soul is at peace, tell yourself that anyway. Again, our brains will lie to us. Why shouldn't we lie to them? It doesn't make any sense for us to be telling the truth to our brains all the time, and our brains are constantly lying to us. Okay, I can prove to you right now that your brain is lying to you. Okay, let me tell you this. Um, your vision is controlled by the rods and cones in your eye. There is a spot on the back of your eye where that is attached. That nerve is attached to the back of your eyeball, and there are no rods and cones, and so there is a blank space. There is no vision in that spot. So there is in everybody's vision right this second a spot where there is no vision. There is a dark spot, but your brain fills it in. It tells you once you get the information into your brain, it spits back out an entire completed image, even though that is not physically there. You cannot possibly be seeing anything in that spot, but your brain fills it in for you anyway. So your brain will lie to you. So you might as well lie back. And you might as well lie good too. Don't lie bad. Don't keep saying bad things about yourself. Lie excellent about yourself. Tell your brain wonderful things about yourself over and over and over again, and it will believe you. Okay, that's why we do our affirmations. It's the repetition that will convince our brains because we keep saying the same thing. So we must know what we're talking about. So it'll start to believe you. Okay, so try that in your life day to day. Things that you're grateful for in your affirmations, all of the things, doing your deep breathing, doing your journaling, doing your gratitude practice, not asking all those questions, and doing your affirmations. When you do these things, the practices, if you do these things consistently, you start to retrain your brain out of the trauma and into a more positive outlook. Okay, but more than anything, don't do what the fear and the pain tell you to do. They're lying to you. Whatever the fear wants you to do, it's a bad idea. Whatever the pain is telling you that you should react like, it's the wrong idea. You want to always, always try to look for the thing that would be healing. Whatever is screaming inside your head, do the exact opposite of what it's saying. If you feel like your heart is pounding out of your chest and your brain is screaming for you to do something, take whatever that thing is and do the exact opposite of that. So if it's screaming, I need to check his phone. No, you don't. You need to mind your business. You need to go take a shower. You need to go get yourself some tea. You need to do a little self-care instead of worrying about him. You try to focus on him in a time where you should be focused on you, okay? The exact opposite, all right? That whatever it says, do the exact opposite. Do not go through the phone. Go through your own emotions, okay? All right. That's about it. That's about all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Now, let me just tell you, in case nobody has told you, I love you and I am so, so proud of you. I know this is painful. I know this has just been a misery, but you are still standing, and you are not only standing, you are fighting for what you want, for your love. And that is so admirable. I need you to know how wonderful it is that you are doing that. All right. Nobody else will pat you on the back. I will. Okay. All right. I love you. And I will see you next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the next edition of the Healing Hour Live. Mwah. Bye, y'all.